Hello everybody and welcome back to some Enlisted. This is a World War II shooter that's being developed by a company that I believe is associated with Gaijin Entertainment. I don't believe it is actually Gaijin Publishing, but it's using the War Thunder engine and all the rest of it. Now in the past you've probably seen a video of myself and Front playing this way back when this was in an alpha stage. And the game has since gone on to its open stage in a beta format. And there are two campaigns available to play. What you're seeing here is footage from the closed test of the third upcoming campaign. This is the Battle for Berlin. So basically, I thought I'd just use this video to kind of talk a bit more about the game now that more of the systems have come into play and kind of explain what the model is for this game. So the basic premise is that it's your almost like your standard fare kind of World War II set shooter, but the side part of it is that you actually control squads. So there are numerous types of squads. There's different infantry types, from assault ones who are equipped with SMGs, that kind of thing, to your standard riflemen, AT squads, radio operators, anti-tank platoons, engineers, and then you've got things like tankers and air pilots and certain aircrew. And the idea is supposed to be that if you get killed during the fight and there's another member of your squad alive, you switch to controlling that squad member and you can continue the fight. So as you can see there on the screen then. And each of those characters are controlled by a rudimentary AI. I wouldn't say it's good or smart, but what it does very well, at least for me anyway, is that it creates a decent enough illusion of a much bigger fight going on. As I believe that the team sizes are about 16 a side, something like that. They're not massive, but when everyone in the team has a squad of soldiers behind them, there's a lot more targets. So you feel like, you know, when you're taking down even bots, you're still getting points, you're still getting experience, and more importantly, your soldiers are gaining experience as well. And there's depth. Like, Enlisted is going for depth in this game. Every single soldier can unlock perks. Every single soldier can level up. Every single soldier can have their own weapons complement. They can be upgraded to be able to carry different types of weapons. You can customize your squads to have different combinations of soldiers within them, saying being able to add a radio operator to a rifleman squad to call in artillery strikes, or being able to add in a couple of assaulters so you've got some short range firepower, or an engineer, that kind of thing. And that's where the depth starts coming in, and that's where you end up probably dumping a lot of time into this. I imagine there are a fair number of people I imagine who've played a lot of this and have gotten deeper into the systems. But yeah, there's a ton to play through, a ton to explore just in this stage. The game is going to have 4 campaigns in total. The last campaign they're adding is Tunisia, which is presumably it's going to be British forces versus German, but I'm hoping an outside chance it might be Italian, but it's probably going to be Africa Corps. And each of the campaigns are set in different periods of the war. So if you were to download it now, go to the Enlisted website and download the game and create your account, or you use your existing Gaijin account. So if you've got like a War Thunder account, or I forget the name of their sort of Mad Max like car game and stuff. Basically, if you have a Gaijin account, you can log into it with this. If you download it now, you would have access to the early war battle for Moskva, which sees some interesting early war stuff, early war regiments and equipment like Panzer IIs, Panzer IIIs, early Panzer IVs, that kind of thing, and some of the early Russian stuff as well. And that's quite fun. It's a bit different. And the other campaign is the invasion of Normandy as the US forces. So you've got sort of late war equipment, things like M18 Hellcats and late war Shermans, and obviously a lot of their later equipment. And as I said, there is depth because there are unlocks. Oh, there are so many unlocks. There are going into each campaign has a unlock track, like a level up system, and each time you level up, new squads become available. And by the end of it, you'll have more squads than you can actually equip into your sort of hotbar. So when you die, when all the soldiers in the squad are dead, you switch to one of your other squads that you've brought into the battle, be that a pilot, or for a fighter plane or a bomber, or a tank crew, that kind of thing, or just a different type of infantry squad. And you will continue to run through the match with that, with so you won't be able to immediately respawn a rifle squad if that's who you just were when the last member of that squad died. You have to switch over to one of your other squads, and then they have time to kind of recharge, let's say. And that's the basic playthrough. So you kind of tailor the squads you want to bring for the style of play you want. I'm not sure if you can bring multiple tank squads. I don't think you can, but I have to play a lot more of it, I think, to get up the campaign track to see if that's possible. But overall, I mean, it gives you a nice breadth of options. As I said, there's weapon unlocks and all kinds of stuff. However, this is the unlocking system is also where they're aiming to make their money. So, much like War Thunder, there are sort of premium vehicles. Well, in this there are premium squads. So, there are specific squads currently in there on their logistics, as it's called. It's not store, it's logistics. And you go to the logistics page and it'll be like, oh, here's this, off the top of my head, there's one of the Battle for Moscow, as a pack that has a squad that have a Panzer 38T, which, for anyone who doesn't know, it's an early war Czechoslovakian tank, but they redubbed it the Panzer 38. And that has a unique squad appearance and the unique tank. You can't get that tank any other way. And so, oh, drop some money, get a premium crew, basically get a premium vehicle. That's how they're doing it. And they're doing the same with there's weapons as well. So you unlock a rank for your squad, and one of the things you can get is extra troops, right? So, okay, great, I can have extra soldier in my squad. Where do I get extra soldiers? Well, you got to go to logistics. Oh, okay, well, how do I get it? Well, you can pay real money in the form of gold coins, as we know, like Gaijin like to do their other currency types. And you pay your gold coins to get access to more weapons. So, do you want like a bronzy weapon pack, like which will give you a random weapon or 2 or 3? Or this is the same for soldiers, by the way, as well. Weapons and soldiers, and then, oh, do you want a specific type of soldier? Like, oh, does your rifle squad now have an opening for a radio operator? Well, get your ass down to the logistics store and spend a silver troop order to get yourself an operator. Of course, it's completely random, by the way, what level that operator will be. He might be a 1-star, he might be a 5-star, or anywhere in between. And the star system is what basically rates a soldier. So I got a German soldier for one of my squads called Edmund Spiegel, who was 5-star out of the box. So he's brilliant. He's like top tier, or he will be. And when he levels up more, you get more perks, which you can spend points on in your perks. So he can run faster, he can heal outside of combat, or he's got like a better hip firing aim and stuff like that. And it's really mental. It's crazy. To be honest, it might be a tad overwhelming for the basic gameplay in here, which it isn't. It's kind of a realistic-ish mix. It's not going hardcore. It's very much sort of, the gameplay is very much kind of faster paced, driven toward being very aggressive in your playstyle, and it's fun. I won't deny it. I've had a lot of fun with it with the time I've played so far. But I remembered that I hadn't really done anything kind of really in depth, and that was because in earlier tests they didn't have all of the systems on it for show, but now they do. And yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, it's not just like unlocking the soldiers as well. There's also elements of upgrading your weapons, so you can upgrade a K98, for instance, or a Mosin Nagant, or an M1 Garand rifle. You can upgrade these things, but you get parts. How do you get parts? You spend your orders, motherfucker. You gotta swap out your special cards that you can get through a battle pass system, or like daily rewards, which are now active in the game. And those things will, give you random bits of tank, and then you use random bits of tank to upgrade tank, so tank might have better armor or more health, or it has a better like turret turn ratio and stuff like that. It's absolutely mental. It's mental. It's cool, but it's also really, really out there with how much they're going in. Like they want you to get absorbed by these systems. Like as I said, the rifle systems are just like once you've kitted out your squad with all the specific weapons you want, you know, you've got your 7 dudes in your rifle platoon. Like, one of them's got a fucking sniper rifle, another one's got, a couple of them got SMGs. This guy's a radio operator. Your leader is one with like maybe an anti-tank weapon, and all the rest of it. You've kitted them out. They're all leveled up. Now it's time to start upgrading that weapon, and then you gotta start getting weapon parts. But here's the kicker: there is actually a chance that your upgrade will fail, which makes no sense. But they have to put in a random element because free-to-play mechanics have to come in somehow, right? You're already dealing with having to, you know, having like the carrot on the stick thing of, oh, well, there's this unit out here and it costs this much money, but oh, look how premium it is. Look, get this rare vehicle or weapon that's only available in this squad. Ooh. Oh, and they have a unique appearance. Make sure to purchase now from the Enlisted store. Only at the logistics hub. So you want to be able to keep people going, and you get to a point where you're trying to upgrade that rifle so the rifle's got maybe slightly better damage, or it reloads quicker, or it has less sway when you're aiming down sight, or your like aim down sight time is increased, that kind of thing. You want to do that, you gotta upgrade, but there's like a 20% chance that it'll fail, and it can get higher and higher, that percent for failure chance, as you go along. And the only way to get more parts is to disassemble weapons that you get, which you won't be getting a lot of them unless you're using bronze orders for random weapons, which can come from any category at that point. So if you're homing for a rifle, you might get an LMG. And if you don't want to be bothered with LMGs, you can disassemble it for parts, but you don't get a huge amount of parts back. So you're going to be, later on, you're going to be doing this a lot to try and get your squads better. This, I think, will probably run into issues later on. Oh yeah, that's where I crashed. Later on, where you're just going to end up in a scenario where you're going to be in a match, and you're going to get matched up with people who just have either paid through the arse to have all of the stuff upgraded, or you're going to end up with people who are going to be like most, I think, free-to-play players, who are going to be the random noob on the team, who is going to be placed with a set of godlike players, and they're just going to carry you for the whole match. That was my tanking there. It's like, by the way, tanks are fun. The tank control I do really like in the game. Ammo switching is in there as well, and as you got your machine gun, you actually have some logistics to work out with your ammunition load. You have like an infinite amount of machine gun ammo, for instance. It's good. It's fun. I like the tank stuff. Actually, I like the tank controls of this game a bit better than I do in War Thunder, and you can see that there's a lot of DNA from War Thunder's tank combat. You even have the little the 3D effect when you hit them, and you see in the top right corner where the round went through, and like whether the round splintered inside and then like killed a crew member or damaged a component, all that kind of stuff. But you can actually hop out of your tank as your crew and then repair it. So even your tank crew can be equipped with different weapons. Oh, and it's not just weapons, by the way. It's hand grenades, it's med kits, it's landmines, it's sidearms, because squads don't initially start with any kind of sidearm capability. So if you run out of ammo, which can very easily happen, your troops don't start with a lot of ammunition, you will either be picking up rifles off your dead squad mates or other dead players, and you have no pistols at the start, so you have to do that. Where'd you get pistols from? The logistics tree! You gotta go to the logistics dump, people, and get yourself more pistols, and more rifles, and more SSGs. I'm digging the game like too much. I'm having a go. It's cynical, right? I'm a cynical asshole, and it's definitely an issue. I'm not gonna lie, there is a problem, and I could see there being a lot of issues with regards to balance in the game later on, when you do have people who have put in a fair amount of cash to upgrade their squads, their vehicles, and their weapons, and then people who just play for free, who might have only put a small amount of cash in if they're interested in a bit. Maybe they did want a specific squad, that kind of thing, but they haven't really lent into the system very hard. It feels like, I'm not saying definitively because I'm not an expert on Enlisted, I'm just going by what I've seen in the menu systems and a lot of the descriptions and the gameplay, but it feels like there could be a point where you hit a ceiling where, unless you're willing to invest a significant amount of time... Why can't I hop over this? This makes no sense. Then I'm going to end up being matched up against people who are going to completely dominate the match. and I'm not going to have much of a look in. I guess that's why there's the bots, because if you can't shoot the players who are controlling their character, you can at least kill the bots, right? I guess that's the angle you go for. And don't get me wrong, the sound in the game is amazing. Graphics are really pretty. The maps are really nicely detailed, and the game modes. There's this one which is like a traditional rush or attack and defend type game mode. You have so many tickets or reinforcements. The defending team don't. So it's all about aggression. You've got to stay on the offensive, cap the points, and you get more reinforcements back by capping a location, and then you move on right to the end of the map. The other one is more of a traditional kind of point control or territory control map, where there's A, B, and C points, so you just fight around the map. Lots of the map sort of props are destructible as well. If you're in a tank, you can drive through fences, over vehicles, that kind of thing. You can't destroy buildings, but you can do a fair amount of damage. And you can basically destroy soft cover for players on the outside of like streets and stuff, which can limit their options. And tanks in this game are dangerous. They are really, really deadly. If a tank gets into a good enough location and you don't have the equipment necessary, a tank can just lodge itself in a difficult position to remove itself from, and really hamper your forces. And you have to hope that other players in their tanks on your team can, assist. And you do need to work together with your armor forces to have like a significant impact on the field. And this map, part of the map is the Kroll Opera House. Looks great. I mean, visually stunning. Or at least for me, I think it looks pretty enough. And yeah, I mean that's Enlisted. I'll probably be doing more stuff about this in the future. Don't know if I'll stream it that often, to be honest, but since the last time I played it, there have been a lot of improvements. I've enjoyed a lot of the game, and yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes, because potentially this thing can add a lot of other theatres of conflict that are rarely seen. Battle of France, Battle of Poland, the Russo-Finnish Winter War of '39. You could see maybe Chinese forces being added, and different theatres that you don't normally see, and maybe in the Far East and that. So that'd be interesting, but that's all I've got time for on this one. Thank you everybody for watching, listening to me ramble on. And if you've got any other questions about specifics of Enlisted, let me know below, and I'll try and answer as best I can. Have a good one all. Bye!